This week on Expedition Texas, we explore movie locations in Central Texas and visit a working movie studio in the most unexpected of places.
Texas is full of lost history, from lost cemeteries to abandoned buildings, from the infamous to the obscure. Hitch a ride and travel across the Lone Star State, looking for hints of Texas' colorful past, our lost history. This is Expedition Texas, and we're gonna find it.
It's not uncommon for movies to be filmed on location. Texas, with all of its different foliage and climates, offers a backdrop for almost any time period or location in the world. John Wayne's The Alamo was filmed nowhere near the San Antonio landmark. Wayne chose the much more realistic landscape of Brackettville, Texas for that film. In Season 4, we traveled to the ruins of that movie set. And sometimes the setting is exactly what you need. As with Texas Chainsaw Massacre, we visited those locations in our first season.
Actually, 73, summer of 73, and yes, this was all farmland. There was nothing out here except one little old house right up here where we'll go see. But this is really a quiet place. They raised chickens, they harvested eggs, they made gardens out here. This is a very peaceful farmland.
So what led Tobe Hooper to choose this location? I mean, I know they were in school in Austin, but why here?
Well, Bob Burns was naturally working with Tobe Hooper on this film, and Tobe was trying to figure out a good setting for this horror movie he was working on, and so Bob just quite frankly said, well, hey, I've got some friends of mine that live in southern Round Rock. It's way out there. There's a big house. I can probably call them up and borrow it.
Wow. Well, I see why they call this Quick Hill. We've been going up for a while now.
Yeah.
And why does it get the name Quick? Where does that come from?
Well, there is a Quick family that lived in Round Rock, and they're still around.
We went up this road that didn't look like much, but if you look at the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, you can tell this hill, this road, is the same road that was used in the movie.
Remember some parts of the movie where you see the driveway, like at the end of the film, Sally's running down the driveway, yes. And then she turns right. Well, when she's running down that driveway, there's a driveway up here, okay. And there's still the barbed wire fence that runs parallel with that driveway.
Okay, so we're going to find that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And so we're now where Leatherface's final dance happens in the film, right?
That's right.
So he's wielding the chainsaw. She's gotten away. She's riding off in the truck down this road here.
That's right.
And he's here waving the chainsaw around from this angle over here. We're seeing it.
That is correct, yeah.
During the time of our visit to that area, and not far from those locations in the town of Bastrop, a movie studio was being built. New Republic Studios is a full-service film studio in Central Texas, offering everything a filmmaker could want in film and production environments.
We are at New Republic Studios, which is between Bastrop and Austin, only about 20 minutes from the Austin airport, right across from Hyatt Lost Pines, across the river. We've got 200 acres here of beautiful land and sound stages, and it can look like so many different places that it's perfectly located. Actually, a great man named Tommy Warren built this. This studio was originally Spiderwood Studios, and it was, he searched long and hard to find the right property that could look like so many different geographies and yet be close to town and in the middle of where so much filming is going on in Bastrop County. And I was in California, and I'm a tech guy who's also been in the film business a long time. And Rick Perry actually introduced me to this place when he was recruiting me to come back to Texas. And his elevator pitch is probably the best one I've ever heard. It's the creativity of LA, technology of San Francisco, nice people, no state income tax. Sounded good to me, so here I am. We came here, been here about 4 years, started coming back and forth about 8 years ago. Introduced me to this place. We found it, and Tommy and I developed a relationship. I started kind of saying, this is a better location than north of Georgetown where I was looking. And the river, we have 1.5 miles or so of the Colorado River. And I said, this is perfect. So Tommy said, I don't want this to become a subdivision. And we developed, and I bought it about a year ago. We renamed it New Republic Studios, and we started doing all this stuff to it and remodeling it. And thanks to Mindy, the place is full.
We're in Central Texas getting ready to explore some movie locations from some blockbuster films that were shot there. Our first stop is to learn a little bit more about the reason so many movies are now being shot in Texas. We visited New Republic Studios in Bastrop. Owner John Robison and marketing director Mindy Raymond talked to us on one of the many sound stages at the studio. And now, it's time to take a look at the outdoor locations along the Colorado River. So, soundstage, Humvee. What is this for?
Well, of course, it's all for props for filming purposes. Yeah. But this is an authentic, fully up-armored Humvee from Fort Benning.
Really? That is really cool.
I got something even more.
Oh, really?
If you think that's cool, wait until you see this.
Oh my gosh, you have a tank here?
Yes, it's a track. It's an M114. It's a lot of fun.
Wow.
The brakes don't work though, so be careful.
Just follow us around. Wow. This is so cool, John.
This is my brother David and my nephew operating the track.
Very cool. Hi, David.
How you doing?
Good. Good to see you.
Good to meet you. You get points for having proper camouflage on.
There's not any chance we could go for a ride in this thing, is there?
Oh no, there's no chance at all. You can go for a ride. You're gonna drive it.
Let's go. So I'm gonna get to drive a tank today, huh?
Yeah, I'm gonna put my tank hat on.
Okay. I like it. New Republic, cool. All right, so how do we go in this big hole right here?
You're gonna go in.
Oh, wow.
Here you go. Welcome to Fantasyland.
I've never been in a tank before, John.
Well, you are now.
Michael Dukakis helmet there.
All right, hang on, I've got to show this off. I'm gonna ride in a tank.
Didn't work out so well for Michael Dukakis.
All right, David, so I'm about to do this. Give me Tank Driving 101, man.
Tank Driving 101. To get your certificate for the M114 Armored Command and Reconnaissance Vehicle, you have to know two major things.
Okay.
How to put a vehicle in gear and how to use a gas pedal.
I think I can handle that.
Think you can handle that?
Yeah.
Because it's really very simple.
Okay.
The steering is a T-bar, and if you turn the bar to the left, you're going to go left. If you turn the bar to the right, guess where you'll go?
Right.
To the right.
Okay.
That's it.
I think I've got this.
You're good.
Okay.
I'm about to drive a tank, y'all. You sure this is okay?
No,
No?
but we're gonna do it anyway.
Okay, where do I need to go?
Okay, when we come out, I'm gonna get you to just go straight, follow this road. You'll curve around, we'll head back towards the studio, and then if I tap you on the right shoulder, turn right and I'll let you go through the grass. We'll just make a loop.
Now, we're gonna
here.
do a little test to make sure I know what I'm doing first. I may get like 2 taps, like.
After cruising around New Republic Studios in an Army tank, we hopped in the Jeep with John to go cruising around and check out some more movie locations located on the property at New Republic Studios.
This is our purpose-built cabin. It was originally made by the movie production that followed Blair Witch.
If you're not following Expedition Texas on Facebook, you're missing half the fun. We'll take you behind the scenes with photos and live videos from the road. See what we're up to while we're out digging up great stories to tell on TV. Then watch for opportunities to share your story ideas or just drop us a line and let us know how you're doing. Follow Expedition Texas on Facebook at Expedition Texas. We're in Bastrop, Texas, where we've been exploring New Republic Studios by tank. But now it's time to get out of the tank and explore some of the actual movie sets that are located at the movie studio right along the Colorado River.
So Bob, this is our purpose-built cabin. It was originally made by the movie production that followed Blair Witch by that crew, and they built this house purposely for filming.
John introduced us to Terry Harvey. Terry's in charge of all things outdoors at New Republic Studios, and Terry showed us around the cabin set located along the Colorado River.
So you have a lot of cool property to kind of be in charge of out here, and tell us about this building here.
Well, it was like he was saying, it was originally built from the Blair Witch, from the production Blair Witch project.
Okay. So that follow-up film to Blair Witch, then. That's awesome.
Yeah, and it like he said, also it's purposely built. It can be changed. They can close it. They've closed in the bottom and made the bottom look like a kitchen before.
Wow, this is cool. So a lot of these walls, Terry, look kind of new. What's the deal with that?
Yeah, well, the last production we had in there, it was a boarding house. So what they had done here, and these, like I said, all these walls are removable. You can make this whole cabin one big open space, or you can build walls wherever you want. But they wanted, so what they wanted was more foyer. So they added this, and then the outside is finished. So if we walk around, you will see what I'm talking about. Or otherwise, you open the door and you're coming in right into a big living room.
Right.
So if we walk on around this way, this was originally a living room at one time.
Oh, okay.
And like I said, they had built this because they wanted hallways, and that's what this creates right here, which is totally removable. It's just the last production we had that had done this. And as we walk on around the corner, you can also see what I'm talking about as it being a foyer, and they had created a bed and breakfast boarding house. So they hits all the doors going into all these rooms, see?
And this wall, you can either use it or not.
You can either use it or not, right. It's just a swingable door.
Wow.
And then in here is another room, and something I kind of like to point out to you, these breakaway panels, because we've had a lot of action in here where people were thrown through the walls, and what they do is they put a panel in here that they will tape and float, and this will disappear. and there's no studs behind it. If somebody wants to be thrown through the wall, that's what they call a breakaway panel. This one here, the last production just minted it like this, but they make it look like a real wall when it's all said and done.
Well, there's no studs behind it, but there is a door.
Yeah, and there's a door. Yeah, that's for sure. But so that was what the last production has done with the place. It gets changed up from every production that comes in. So.
And with that, we took a little tour around the back lot in the Jeep with John.
We keep this looking rough. The whole show Revolution on NBC, all the North Carolina scenes were filmed here. In this spot, along here. Wagon chases, they'd run rails through here, and horse chases and all that stuff through here. And each production that uses it wants it a little different, so it's easier to cut this stuff for them than it is to manicure it and put it up. And the interesting thing is, this can look like you're in the middle of the jungle, but you're never more than about 100 feet away from where your equipment is. This gets down to the steps, down to the water. This part of the river is really cool because we have rapids.
Yeah.
And down here they were filming something with gold prospectors or something.
But big hook on the end of that thing.
Yeah, they were doing a thing with all this old equipment like they were panning for gold.
Nice.
Down in the rapids there.
John dropped us off at the soundstage area where more work is being done to make the studio more inviting. John's partner Jason showed us an old cabin he had restored along with an old well he was working on. Meanwhile, inside the soundstage where we started, a movie stunt team was working on perfecting their craft in a day-long stunt workshop. Coming up next, though, we're taking a trip to see more famous movie locations in nearby Smithville.
We're standing in front of an iconic home here in Smithville, the Hope Floats house.
That's correct.
We're in Central Texas, where we've explored New Republic Studios, a movie studio located along the Colorado River in Bastrop. Now we've taken a short trip to nearby Smithville to explore some very famous movie locations. We're meeting up with Adina Lewis and Sally Blaylock at one such site.
Hi, Adina.
Hey,
Hey.
Welcome to Smithville.
Thank you. And you must be
Sally Blaylock.
All right. Nice to meet you, Sally. Now, we're standing in front of an iconic home here in Smithville. Somebody living there right now?
Somebody lives there right now.
Yeah, but that home is also known as the Hope Floats house.
That's correct.
And
That's correct.
I understand you were here in Smithville during the filming of that movie,
Oh,
right?
it was so much fun. I watched them get the house ready for like maybe over a month to get everything ready. And then they filmed it, and then after they left, they put the house back in original way that they
Really?
had. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Sally, so tell me about just like the process of a major motion picture coming to Smithville. What was that like?
We were sitting right over there in yard chairs one night about 10 o'clock. It's the night that they did at nighttime when the daughter came out of down the steps. And somebody came over and said, "Don't y'all have something better to do?" And I said, "It's 10 o'clock Saturday night." No, this is where we want to be.
Yeah.
And we watched May, it was her name. We watched her playing in the yard just as normal kid. They called her to go inside. She went inside. They yelled action, and she came out furious and played the part. And we sat there and watched. She was a real actor.
Yeah.
Because she went from a little kid to an actor, just like that.
Wow, that's so cool. Well, going back to a while back, Brad Pitt shot a movie here, and great movie. The fact that Brad Pitt was here shooting a movie is interesting. But the fact that a tree had to be moved 5 miles to accommodate a major story point in that film, I think not only makes the fact that Brad and Angelina came here and lived in Smithville while that was being done, but that they had to move this tree to get the shot. Can you show us where that is?
Absolutely, we'd love to.
So we're just around the corner from the Hope Floats house, and what do we have here?
Well, this is the home that was the main family home for the Tree of Life.
And that's the Brad Pitt, Angelina, well, Brad Pitt was in it.
Brad
she
Pitt
just
was
came
in
with.
It. Sean Penn was in it.
Oh, cool.
Jessica Chastain. It was one of Jessica Chastain's first films. And Terrence Malick was the writer-director, so it was huge to have a caliber director like Terrence Malick to be here with us.
Well, this is a residential neighborhood, so what happened with all these other homes?
Well, it was really great. It was like a giant film block party for about 6 months. In the script, there was a tree that had an important part as a view outside of the dining room window.
Okay.
So over 1,000 trees were actually scouted to finally select a tree that was used. And the tree had to be moved 5 miles.
But some locations are fine just the way they are. In the Jack Black film Bernie, a local barbecue restaurant fit the bill to a T.
So here's another great location that people might remember from our films. Bernie, the film Bernie was shot here. And one of the favorite scenes from that movie is where they show the map of Texas and they describe the different sections of Texas. People love that part of the
Right, yeah.
Willie Nelson has also shot a video here, so it's kind of fun. Shall we go inside?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, Jack Black, who played Bernie, he was sitting right about here. And they filmed him this way.
All right. You were in this shot somewhere, right?
I was told to be quiet and just pretend to eat, and I had a red shirt on, and if you blink real fast, you miss me.
We visited a few other movie locations in Smithville, but soon it was time to hop in the car and head back out to New Republic Studios in Bastrop to visit with Barry Rogers, the fellow who invited us out to come see all the magic happening in Central Texas.
Where do you see this going, man?
We feel like the sky is the limit. I mean, this land is a canvas for a bunch of creative people who are very disciplined and, want to do great things for the film industry and for the area.
Well, Barry, thanks for setting us up with everybody, and look forward to seeing you down the road, man.
Absolutely.
When it comes to film, Texas provides almost any setting a director can dream up. We've seen a few instances of why Texas is being sought more and more as a location for movies and TV shows. Down the road, there's another lost legend waiting to be discovered, and on Expedition Texas, we're gonna find it.